Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's joint webinar featuring Prospect and Unleashed software. Today, we're going to be finding out how adding stock-aware CRM to Unleashed can help drive your business growth. Before we get underway, I thought we'd just introduce ourselves briefly. My name is Nick Wilson, and I'm a sales manager here at Unleashed, working out of our office here in sunny Melbourne. And we are joined by the wonderful Stuart McLaren over in the UK. I know the Ashes are kicking off tomorrow, but we won't hold that against him. He's made a big effort to be here online with us at the moment. Say hello, Stuart.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Nice to be here. I'm going to keep my camera off because it's pitch black here.
Good job, mate. Amazing effort. So I thought before we got right into the product, and we certainly don't want to give you death by PowerPoint here, but I thought I'd just give you a little bit of context about the purpose of today. So why are you here? Well, we're hoping that you want to grow your business for a start. And the idea for today is really to introduce you to Prospect, one of Unleashed's integration partners. I'd say that out of all of the CRMs out there, it is one of the most robust cloud-based CRMs available. And certainly from an Unleashed perspective, Prospect is the one who I'd say have gone the furthest to integrate on a two-way basis. We work really closely together, and we have hundreds of shared customers globally across many, many different industry types. And there is no one better, as far as I'm concerned, than Stuart to showcase the functionality that Prospect offers. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Stuart.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. And yes, welcome to the webinar. So yes, as Nick said, I hope that one of the reasons that you guys are here is because you want to grow your businesses. That's probably why you bought Unleashed. And Unleashed has, as you will well know, all manner of tools for helping you grow your business, particularly, from the operational side of the business. And so today what we're going to look at is kind of more the front office, the sales and the marketing teams particularly. I guess between us, Unleashed and Prospect, we're kind of building an ecosystem of apps that integrate to each other, and the center kind of being the Prospect CRM and the Unleashed. And then I'm going to show you some other apps that also integrate or mention them anyway. And I guess you all obviously know there are hundreds of CRM systems out there, and why would you be particularly interested in the Prospect CRM? I suppose primarily because of the integration. That's what I'm going to show you in a second, to Unleashed. But also, we've built our system, unlike other CRMs, to be specifically for a product-based business. We brand ourselves as the #1 stock-aware CRM, and hopefully I'll be able to show you exactly why that is. So what do we mean by that? And I guess, what we kind of say to people is that the difference is that where ordinary CRM ends is where stock-aware CRM is really just getting started. So obviously you need to record all the usual CRM interactions. Clearly you want to keep track of sales opportunities, and I'm going to show you some of that. And all CRMs do that kind of stuff. But what about giving your customer a price, or sending a quote, or taking an order even, when you've got all that information in your Unleashed, all the special pricing, the product availability, and so on? Or how do you quickly access a customer's sales history, see back orders for them, or sort out an incorrect delivery perhaps? So the question is, can your CRM tell you who's buying more this year than last year, who's buying less or stopped buying, all using real-time Unleashed data? And that's really what I'm going to show you. And we've got a few things that you won't have seen in CRMs before. I guess they're a little bit of our kind of secret sauce, if you like. And one of the ways that we differentiate and hopefully give you some insightful intelligence on the data from Unleashed is through, it's not our system, it's a recognized wholesale and distribution mechanism called RFM for segmenting customers and actioning, giving you actionable insights basically, so that you can do things with the different sectors of your customer base. And so RFM stands for recency, frequency, and monetary value. And it's an algorithm and ranking mechanism that was developed for wholesale businesses, not, as I say, not by us. And so we apply those algorithms to the Unleashed data as soon as you set up your prospect CRM system and categorize your customers against each other based on how recently, how frequently, and the value of their orders that go through Unleashed. And so, as you see here, these are the segments. Not that surprising. Champions are your best customers. They bought most recently, they buy often, they spend the most. And there's some actionable insights. And you can Google the RFM process for wholesale, and there's all sorts of information on the internet about RFM processes and actions that you can take. And so it goes through loyal, potential, loyalist, promise, needs attention, and then into the sort of more about to sleep at risk, can't lose them, big customers that haven't bought for a while, hibernating, people that haven't bought, perhaps lower spenders, but a long time ago, and people that you've lost and ought to try and win back. We then also add in new customers, which in our terms are people actually who've placed less than 4 orders. And when we look across our customer base, who are all wholesale distribution companies selling products from stock B2B, and that's our niche, there's a real obvious drop-off in the way that people order. So if you get a new customer and they order once, there's actually quite a low likelihood without some action that they'd order again. After 2 orders, it's more likely they'll order again. Actually, after 4 orders, it tips over 50% likely that you are now an embedded supplier and they will carry on ordering from you. So we segment them separately as new customers so that you can do some particular things with them. So we're going to have a look at that. I'm not going to go through, as Nick said, a death by PowerPoint. So let's get into the system and have a look at some of this stuff. And so I've got a demo system here that is connected to a demo Unleashed that Nick kindly set up and has got a little bit of action going through that over the last few months, but it is a demo system. Our company is called the Coffee and Bean Company. And you'll never guess what we sell, but it's coffees and beans and coffee machines and various things to coffee shops, coffee retailers, other wholesalers, and so on and so forth. So that's the data that we've got here. And you can see that as we jump into the system, front and center is that RFM analysis. And I'll talk a little bit in a while about taking a free trial. And we do integrate our free trials. I mean, this literally was integrated yesterday. It ran through the Unleashed database and picked up everything that needed to in order to do this categorization. So there's not tons of data in here, obviously. We've got 3 new customers, some need attention, 1 that we don't want to lose and 1 hibernating, and 3 loyal customers. So we're going to have a look at one of these loyal customers. Let's say Food Stalls of Melbourne. And so this is the CRM record for Food Stalls of Melbourne. It has been picked up and brought in from Unleashed. And we've got some categorization. We know they're a loyal customer. Their last order actually was a day ago. In the last year, back from today, they've ordered $224,000 worth of goods from us. And they were a new customer this year. So actually that is a straight increase because they're a new customer in the last year. We link to Google Maps for their address, and I can go off and find directions and so on. And then we have a CRM notepad. We've also got some other pages of information here. We're linked to the Unleashed record. So I can't edit any of this, but I could open their record in Unleashed and see any information that I needed to in Unleashed about that customer. So you can see the integration is pretty dynamic and deep. I've also brought in a full history of everything they've ever bought from me from Unleashed by line item. So I can see actually there's an outstanding order that they've placed an order, but we haven't delivered or invoiced it yet. There's some other orders here that have gone through and have been invoiced. And again, I can open any of these transactions in Unleashed and have a look at that transaction. So you're beginning to see, why we call ourselves a stock aware CRM and the kind of information that we've got. And this is a big long list of everything they've ever bought. And I have got a search on it, and I can do some filtering or sorting and so on if I wanted to on that data. But we also give you some sales analysis on it. So for Food Stalls in Melbourne, I can see that they've been an increasing customer in terms of the invoicing, and their order frequency and value is going up. And I can have a look at all their orders and see the value of those and when they came in. I also get a view of what they're buying from me. So this is by value. And if I do a see more, we can see that 43% of their spend is actually on the unfurnished coffee carts. So they've been buying quite a few of those from me. In fact, one order of 23 amounted to $96,000. So that's why it's what they've spent the most on. But they also buy an awful lot of gold-plated stainless steel espresso spoons. They must be giving those away. So yeah, they buy a lot of those as well. And I can see all of this. And we're linked to these products. Obviously, the product record is in Unleashed, but we bring in the product file and link to the product record so that, again, I can see, I can't edit any of this. The master record is in Unleashed, but I can see when I've got some coming in on purchase order, what the quantity available currently is and my list price. And I bring in the picture that we've got in Unleashed as well. And I can see the transactions that have gone on this product now. So who's been buying it and when. And then we do an analysis on that to say, who is the best customer? Not surprisingly, having bought 20,000 of them, Food Stores of Melbourne are my best customer for this product. And what is the seasonality of the product? So it's relatively an increasing order value that's going on here. We used to sell a few in the summer, and now it seems when in your winter, and then a few more through the summer, perhaps, as people are sitting outside and maybe start taking those spoons away with them. I don't know. So you can see the kind of information that we've got against customers and the kind of insights that we can give you. And that was all by drilling down from looking at one of my loyal customers on the RFM stats. We do then have the Prospect AI growth engine. And because there's orders going through this demo system, actually the business is in fine fettle and we haven't got any missing orders. But what you would get here, if you connect it up to your Unleashed, is probably a list of customers that would show you how many days since their last order, comparing that to their average days between orders and looking at the maximum minimum days. We give an automated calculated warning level that will be more than the average day, but probably not as long as their longest gap between orders. We'll show you which RFM segment they're in, and we'll tell you their average order value. And basically, this will give you a list of people that you should call because based on their history, they should have ordered by now. So a real, actionable insight there of ring these people, they should have placed an order, and they'll even give you an estimated value of that order that should have come through. We also then show you down the bottom here on this dashboard a customer trend. And again, as a demo system, we're in great shape because all of our customers at the moment are growing customers. And this is showing that year-on-year stat. So if I had any customers that had spent less in the previous year than this year, then I'd have a minus figure here, and it would warn me that this customer is a declining customer. They're spending less than they used to. And I should action that and see what's going on if a competitor's got in there or whatever. And this dashboard, incidentally, can always be trimmed down by account manager so that each salesperson can look at their own section of customers and use these actionable insights to try and get you more business and avoid losing customers. And then we're showing some general stats on turnover this month versus last month and a view of the 12-month orders. I'll come back to some of these. These are all CRM tiles. And because this is a new system that we connected up yesterday, we haven't got any action, but we're going to do a bit of action in a second. Okay, so that gives you a good view of the kind of information and the integration that we've got to Unleashed and how we can present that information for the front office to do things with it. What I want to do now is I just want to go through quickly and show you a bit of a day in the life of. So I'm going to act as a salesperson, and I've had perhaps somebody call in or contact me who's interested in buying some coffee beans from us. They don't exist in the database. I've got a general search here. And so I need to create a new record. And so I'm going to create a new business contact. it's Toby Anderson that's calling me from Byron Bay Coffee Company. And so the first thing I do to add a new contact, and this is a unique field, so it won't allow any duplicates, is I'll put his email address in. And as I go through that field, our system will then go and search all social media platforms for his details based on that. And so it's found Toby Sanderson. He's a general manager at Byron Bay Coffee. And so there's a few extra bits of information that I want to fill in for me in the CRM. I know he's the general manager, so I'm going to put him down as the main decision maker. And I'm going to set him as a company type of prospect at the moment because he hasn't bought from me. So let's create that record. And what will happen here is this record has been created in the CRM only because he hasn't bought from me, so we don't need him in Unleashed yet. But I've created a company for Byron Bay Coffee, who he works for, and a contact record for Toby Sanderson. And I basically filled in one field and a couple of drop downs, and I've got the record here with his address and everything, as you can see. So pretty quick and easy to get records into the system and get on and action them. So he said that he was interested in buying some coffee beans from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log an opportunity in the CRM to follow up on this and see it through and hopefully end up making a sale to him, a first sale. Now, as you can see, there's a few things I can create from Toby's record. I'm going to create an opportunity. Actually, if he was an existing customer and had a problem with a delivery or some damage or something had gone wrong, we do have a service ticketing system. I'm not going to show it particularly today, but suffice to say there is a full service ticketing system there that will help you log any customer issues and problems. If he was an existing customer, then quite possibly I would just send him a quote. Maybe I wouldn't need to log an opportunity. For a new customer, there's probably going to be more than one interaction here, and so I'm going to log an opportunity. But I could just do a quote, or again, if it was an existing customer just wanted to place an order, I could actually put a sales order straight through to Unleash without having to send a quote. But we're going to log an opportunity, and so we'll call this a coffee bean inquiry. And I'm going to be the salesperson. It's a new customer, and so we have a pipeline of workflow for new customers, which starts at unqualified. And I'm hoping that he's going to spend somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 as his first order. So I've logged that as a new opportunity, and we're now on that opportunity under Toby. And so I can set a few things. When am I hoping to get the order, first of all? It presumes a month. Well, I'm better than that. In fact, I might even get the order today. You never know. But we'll go for Christmas Eve at worst. And in my initial conversation, Toby sounds pretty keen, so I'm going to put it at 50%. And all of this goes to build a pipeline for me. So it takes the average value that I had between 5 and 10K, 7.5. It'll apply the 50% likelihood, and it knows that it's in 17 days. So I get a pipeline based on the opportunity they put in the system. Now, I'm going to choose ingredients here as the category, and I'll come back to the magic matrix and tell you a little bit more about that at the end. But this opportunity is for ingredients. And again, in my pipeline, I can separate out the different types of opportunity by category. So the first thing it tells me here is that status record requires a follow-up task. And so if I tried to leave, actually, it wouldn't let me leave. It tells me I have to set the next action. You can't leave a brand new opportunity in the system just languishing. So I'm going to set the to-do for myself, let's say tomorrow. Obviously I could set it for a colleague and they would get a notification and it would go on their to-do list. So please call Toby about a quote for beans. And so we'll set that to do. And now I could leave it. And as I say, if I'd set it for a colleague, it would send them a notification and put it on their to-do list. But it'll now be on my to-do list upcoming tomorrow, something I've got to do. So obviously we're going to kind of short circuit this a little bit. And so I'm going to presume that tomorrow has come and I'm calling Toby and indeed, he wants to get a quote from me for some Colombian and some Ethiopian beans, I think. So I'm going to add a quote. It knows my home currency is Australian dollars in this system. He's not a customer yet, so he's not set with a price tier. But I know he's going to be a wholesale customer for me. So I'm going to price him on the wholesale price list from Unleashed, even at this stage. And so now I get to add some Colombian beans. And it's picking up the products from the product file that we've brought in and keep up to date. It knows how many available, and it knows what price they are on the wholesale price list. So let's say that he wants 50 bags of those. And then he also wants some, I think it was it Ethiopian or Ecuadorian? Let's go for beans and see what we've got. Ethiopian beans, yeah. Sorry, I'm not overly familiar yet. So we'll put 50 of those on as well. And you can see we're getting close actually to the value that we thought we might get for the first order from him. So now I need to send this quote to Toby, and there's a few ways I can do that. Actually, we have a portal where I could send him an email with a link to the portal. And if I'd linked, here's another one of the apps, if I'd linked to my Stripe account, I could send him the quote in that portal where he could accept it and even pay for it if I wanted him to. And then we'll post the order through to Unleashed. So I'm going to do it slightly more manually. I could send him an email, and we've got some templates. So I've got a basic email quote here that just sticks the products with the prices and the quantities in, and I could send that off to him. I'm not going to send it to him because he's a real guy, actually, and he'll wonder why on earth I'm sending him a quote for coffee beans. Somebody just asked whether or not you saw this pad here. Yes, absolutely. If Toby had sent me a list of the products, we need the SKU and the quantity somewhere in an Excel or a CSV. And if you drag and drop it onto here, it will build the quote or the order automatically for you. So yeah, you can just drag and drop an Excel file into there. And as long as it's got the SKU and the quantity, actually, if you're doing it in the CRM like this, you can also put the price on that. But obviously, you wouldn't want the customer doing that. That would only be for you if you'd negotiated some prices and had got it all, listed out for whatever reason in Excel rather than Unleashed. So yes, you can absolutely add an order by doing that. So the other kind of quote I can send is perhaps a more kind of extensive document, and you can set up any number of templates. These are just Word templates. So I'm going to use perhaps the project proposal template, maybe a bit over the top for a couple of bags of beans. But yeah, if it's a new customer and I wanted to send sort of a document that told them all about me, then obviously I could have all that in that document. This could be a 20-page document. So let's create that and show you one of those documents. So finds my Microsoft Word, brings in that project proposal and merges in the fields that exist on the template. And this is the plugin that will give you any fields that are available in the CRM to merge onto a document. And obviously you can have whatever you like on this. So we've got we've actually put pictures in as well on this particular quote template. And so I could edit this and save it. And then once a document is saved, you can attach it as a PDF to an email if you wanted to. So if I said that I wanted to create an attachment here, my existing document is that proposal, and I could attach it as a PDF and send it off to Toby. So fast forward again, and Toby has received the quote, loves the price of the beans, would like to go ahead. And so what I do is I'll take his purchase order reference number, and then we want to confirm the order. But if you remember, this is a record that I started and created only in the CRM. We've been able to get this far, give him a quote using our pricing from Unleashed and our products from Unleashed. But it's only at this point that he places an order that I need to create him as a new customer in Unleashed. And so the system says, well, you can't confirm the order because he doesn't have an account yet. Do I want to create one? And so I'm going to say yes. And it's Byron Bay Coffee. So we'll give him a code of Byron Bay AU. We'll say he's on the 10% sales tax. And I said I was going to put him on the wholesale price list. And I can set him as a customer type. So the fields that you need to create, you can create. It'll have got his address already. And so let's create him as a new customer in our Unleashed. And now that I've got a new account for him, I'll be able to confirm this order. And so the order is confirming. And if I just give it a second to do that, it'll bring me back the order number. If I give it a second to do that, it'll bring me back the order number. Well, let's go and mark our opportunity as sold. So we're going to go all the way through to 1. And it marks as 100%. So we'll know in the pipeline, and it adjusted the value incidentally to be the exact value that we had on the quotation. So let's just go back and refresh this. And so we're still waiting to be confirmed. Okay, well, let's leave that confirming. In the meantime, what I did mention was the magic matrix, which might be a term that some of you have heard. How am I doing for time? We're almost out of time. So very quickly, I'll show you. The magic matrix is the other way that we can help you grow your business based on information from Unleashed. And basically what it's showing you here is your product categories and your customers. And where there's a green dot means they bought it from that category. Where there's a a blue dot, it means that they have an opportunity in the system but haven't bought yet. And red means unaware. And so what I can do is use this to build some awareness. And so it seems that, I mean, actually, if I look at my dashboard, sorry, let me just go back and show you my dashboard for the Magic Matrix. You can see that for ingredients, I've got a lot of people who aren't aware and want opportunity. So that might be something that I want to promote. And so if I build awareness, let's build it specifically for ingredients. And I'll do it for all of our RFM segments and industries. I mean, I could choose just coffee shops or roasters, and I could choose just my champions or loyal customers. But if we go through and I want to make everybody who is unaware, I want to make them aware. And I want to add them to a campaign, a marketing campaign that I've got called Ingredients Promotion, which is where we integrate to MailChimp. And so I can now add the contacts from those businesses to that campaign. And if I go to the campaign, I can do all sorts of inclusion, exclusions, and filters by their role to get the right targets. But once they're on here as targets, what will happen now on our Magic Matrix, if I refresh, is that they get a little orange dot to say, we're sending them an e-shot. They are now aware of ingredients. And so you'll be able to see on the dashboard that we've been able to action making all those people aware now. And hopefully, as time goes by, we'll get more blue as people respond to our e-shot and more green as people buy. And that's really what this is for, to try and maximize our product categories into our customers and make sure that we sell as many as possible. And because we've got the products, you know, we can have a look. I've got a product by category report here that shows me these are our products in our ingredients Magic Matrix category. So I know what it is that I'm targeting people to buy. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight. I'm sorry I've overrun slightly. What I'd like though is for you to be able to see that for yourselves with your own integrated free trial. And so we'd love you to go to prospectsoft.com and sign up for a free trial. It's a 21-day free trial. And as I say, you can integrate your free trial and get all of that insight and actionable intelligence that I've just shown you on your own systems. We've even got a Christmas offer for Unleashed customers that have attended or watched this webinar, where if you sign up for a free trial of Prospect CRM and integrate it and let us go through a demonstration similar to what I've just done, but on your data with you, and we managed to do all that before the end of the year, we'll send you a $20 gift card as a little present from us. Just use this code, Unleash December 21, UNLDC 21, and you'll get your Amazon gift card through. I'd encourage you to do the free trial as soon as possible so that we can get all this done, the demo and so on, before the end of the year. Yes, 21 days, I know, is pretty tight. I mean, just before Christmas. So I'm sure if there's some people that weren't able to see everything they want, we'll be able to extend those trials a little bit into January for you if that's necessary. What I'm hoping is you'll take a trial, book a demo with us, be so impressed with what you see and how you could grow your business by looking at the data the way that we do in the CRM, that you'll want to go ahead straight away. But yes, somebody just asked a question that the 21 days kind of runs out. I mean, I guess we could have made it 14 days and then it wouldn't have run out, but yeah, let's look at it positively. Okay, so the final thing perhaps before I hand back to Nick that I wanted to say is, Nick mentioned we share hundreds and hundreds of customers, and there's all sorts of videos and case studies on our website, and indeed on Unleashed, that you can go and have a look at and hear from people that do run both systems really successfully. So, sorry, Nick, let me hand back to you and see if I've kind of tried to answer a few questions as we went through.
Yeah, you've done a fantastic job, mate. I think you were able to answer the overwhelming majority of them. There was one that was asking about whether Prospect has a feature for marketing, which I think the Magic Matrix was a really good example of how that would work. But apart from that, I think you did a really good job. You answered Damien's question that was there as well. So yeah, I think yeah, a big thank you to you. Oh, yes.
Just asked, can I rewatch this presentation as his internet dropped out? Yeah, I think Jade has recorded it and we'll be sending it out to all attendees. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, that'll be sent out to all attendees as well, so you can certainly rewatch it. But yeah,
Craig.
Just a big thank you to you, Stuart. It's you're clearly a wealth of knowledge regarding all things Prospect, and I always learn a little bit from you. I think that feature around that ability to search social media platforms for the details of a user is unbelievable. It's a really cool feature. Cool, isn't it? Yep. So yeah, definitely I learn a little bit from you every time we speak. But yeah, I think we're probably a few minutes over. So
yeah, apologies.
No problems at all. Just to wrap up, thank you all for joining us today for the webinar. Really hope you got great value out of it. And I would really strongly encourage everyone to jump on for a free trial and have a good look at how the product can help grow your business.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
And thank you again, Stuart. And just finally, go the Aussies in the Ashes.
You notice how I've kept quiet about that.
You have indeed. You have indeed. Good man. Thanks again, Stuart. Appreciate it. And see you, everyone.
All right. Cheers. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye now.